welcome back to another episode of Farm and Life at Lafort. So today I will be bringing you around and showing you the second farm that we have. We've never actually done a tour of that farm. Right now we're here waiting for the delivery guy to come with the mowers. So if you remember in one of the videos, Mum and Dad went off to buy some machinery. They were looking for mowers. So they bought 2 mowers, one of which is for us. So we'll show you that mower when it arrives, and Dad will probably go around and talk to you a little bit about it. So then later on this evening I'll be heading over to the second farm to check on the cattle, and I will bring you around with me at the same time and show you the farm. And yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get the drone up into the sky as well, so I can give you a good view of the sheds and the land around it as well. So that's all on today's video. I really hope you guys enjoy it. If you do, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on our farm and lives here in France. Just as we are waiting for the delivery guy here now for the mowers, I said I would give a quick mention to another YouTube channel that we found recently. So it's CR Farm Life. So a young lad called Connor, he's 13 years old from Westmeath, and he goes around and has videos up about kind of just jobs of what he does on the farm. He shows around the cattle, he shows around the tractors and machinery. So very interesting channel. We really enjoyed the videos. I believe he's just over 100 subscribers, so if we could get him up to 200 subscribers, that would be great. So go check out his channel and subscribe, and let's get him to 200 subscribers.
One of our 2 mowers came. Well, the other one has came as well, but I'm not showing it to you. It's the Pottinger 3.3 meters. Normally I always buy John Deere or Coon, but they're just harder to get now for some reason. So these are growing on me big time, and I'm going to actually knock a whack out this one myself for this year. And I was looking for a Pottinger front mower as well, but I actually don't like them for some reason. Plus if the front mower breaks down, they seem to break down a lot more than these ones. So this one came, is 2007 I think. It's just straight in off the farmer's yard. The garages over here now don't really do much repairing anymore. They just want to get rid of these things because with labour and everything, all they're interested in is selling new ones. Now the other mower I bought, that's going back to Ireland. The guy that bought it doesn't want anyone to see it because he wants to sell it, and so I can't show you the other one. And so that's it. It's not too bad of a mower. Now the guard is missing there. I have to do that. I don't know what's in here. Water. Full of water. Yeah, I have. Actually, the last one I bought is actually newer than this. Yeah, but it has hardly anything done, but it's parked up. That one is a lot fresher than the last one. Hopefully, all I have to do now is put a set of blades and check all the oils in the bed and that, and grease her up. And I'm not going to do much wood because we sell these off again. So if we get a year or two out of them. So that's all I have to say. Now the last day when I was looking at this, the camera stopped, as Laura said. So here's the cabs, the cam. So we got this old cab. It's an old Fitzmar cab off a Ford 66. The tractor went back to England, but they take the cabs off so they can pack more on the lorry. So I'm going to use the roof off of that for my 7,000 because I said it already. I priced the steel and getting it folded, and it's going to cost €700 or €800, and I'm not going to spend on that on the other cab. So I'm going to take the roof off of that. There's a plastic roof and all, which is grand and it's padded, so it'll save me. If you do a complete steel roof, I'd have to put braces to stop it vibrating. Here's another one. I got a frame and that. So the roof is actually, that one might be a little bit twisted. This one is okay, but the plastic roof is missing out of this. But why I brought this one is these were with it, and I might just make a roll bar to fit on temporary on the Dexter and the 7,000 when the cab is off, just in case, because it's good and heavy. So, well, actually the back frame is there too off a Fitzmar cab. Anyone that wants a few bits off a Fitzmar cab, if you want them, you can have them. There's a back frame there for a Fitzmar cab, and there's a few bits on that there. There's a door and some windows. Once I have the roof gone, if anyone wants to rest, they might. There weren't a bad cab. In Ireland there was a lot of Fitzmar cabs on the Fords at the later stage. They stopped putting the proper Ford cabs on. Some found them a bit noisier, but I used to like them. Now, when I seen the other cab first, I should have taken it there and then, and all the windows and everything was in it, and it would have fit straight onto the 7,000. But then they'd take off all the cabs and throw them in heaps, and next thing when I went back to get it, half the windows were broke. So now that I've got used to the other cab, the old cab on the 7,000, it's easier to take it off. So I'm happy the way I'm going now. So that's all I have to say on that.
So heading over to the second farm now this evening, just before coming back and doing the feeding over here. I'm just pushing in whatever silage is in front of them that Dad put out this morning, and giving some extra meal to the calves, and just checking, making sure that everything's okay. Okay, so this shed is a little bit dark. It's quite a low shed, but it's all insulated roof. So this used to be their calving shed. So it's one of them sheds, one of the old French sheds, where all the cows would have been locked in. So each cow would have had their spot, and then there's a water trough in between each. And to feed them, it's a bit awkward, you push it in there. So we do that over here. Now the pen does need to be bedded a bit, but I think Dad's planning on clearing it out, that's why he left it. But basically, if you see there the doorway, that's where they just walk in and out. So they can come in here then to dry off, or the calves want to get out of the wind. So I'm just leaving in some meal. Mum came down, or was it Dad? One of them came down this morning feeding, and they usually bring a few buckets of meal for the calves here. So just starting them on creep. They wouldn't be anything like the ones you saw Dad feeding last time that need constant maize. So just feeding them some of this buckets here now, just topping it up for this evening. So this is a little pen here where the cows can come in and out there, just to feed them away from the mothers. Now we don't use much of this shed, like there's calving pens there, kind of a walkway there. Like we've never actually used it, so I'm not 100% sure on what way it works. But basically there's calving pen there, the other side. So actually 2 calving pens each side. They have a 1 knock-in barrier space for the cow. And yeah, so this is why we call this the calving shed. It's a long, big long shed. It's actually a very long shed. And then here again, there's boards across it, but you can open that up and let them out into that field the same way as over there. And then another 2 pens down there. And then here's another part of the shed. This was like an old barn. Well, it is an old barn that they actually just extended out onto. And there's the cow and calf, the cow that had the cesarean that time. Her hair is finally starting to grow back a bit. So she is down here because she's to be kept away from the bull. And so yes, we just keep her on her own with the calf. So I remember the first couple of years when we arrived, we got very bad winters, very, very cold winters, a lot of snow, and yeah, really annoying having so much snow, and it went down to like minus 18 or minus 20 or something like that. So I suppose that's why the sheds there for the calving are so well insulated. But now, I mean, this year I think we've gotten down to minus 8, minus 9. So we don't need it as much. I might show you around a few of the sheds while I'm out here. So this is the main yard. It's like what it was, a little hamlet before, and the previous owners of this property were 2 brothers, and their father, I think, was the one who bought up all the land around. So the 2 brothers retired now, and so we're renting this farm. So that's the house that we have done up for Airbnb. That's a nice big old barn there. There's the garden where my garden is. Another house. So then up here is the crow. So then here's another cattle shed. Now I don't want to open that big door because it's quite windy. But I'll show you the inside of it now. I'll go around the back. So then we have this shed here, which is another cattle shed. And you can see all the big trusses. Some fine woodwork in this shed. And then behind there is actually locking barriers where we feed them the other side. This is the crush that you've probably seen a few times in the videos. So then just off the cattle crush is this shed. So we've recently put locking barriers in here. just for handling. So there are in-calf cows. There's some calves in there somewhere. So it's quite hard to show, but this is just the feeding place, and then there's a wall back there. Oh, you can't really see it because of the cows. But there's a wall back there. Everything has heated water troughs in here. I believe we've shown that before. And then they're behind the wall. So if you want to come in to check on them, you have to kind of go down the big long crush to see the other side of the wall, which isn't the most ideal, but this is a fine cattle shed too. So now I'm at the solar panel shed that we've shown you a few times here behind me. And we have some young calves as well in here on creep. So they're being fed out one of the feeders that I'll show you. And then there's some heifers in this side as well. They're not due to calve or anything, so they're fine over here. And then this is the pen of cow and calves. So there's a calf there. I don't know if you can see him with the light. So that's where they get in there in the corner. And then we have this feeder here. They've cleared their meal there from this morning, so I'm just going to give them more. And as Dad said before, these are the French gates. Now they're very, very heavy gates. And they have these boards on them for blocking wind. Now we've taken off a few on the gates that we open because the gates are just so heavy with them. There's a cat going in now looking for meal. So I don't want to try and open it in case I can't close it again. There's our view from above. So there's a bit of a bale of straw there because there's no calves in that pen. And so we just leave that there so we can top up the straw here for these. And then that comes along with the bedder on the back of the tractor for in there. Some of the new heifers over that side. Well, there'll be this year's new heifers. They're out with the bull. He's in there somewhere. So they are the calves out of the quasi cows that we call them. So they're the cross between Limousine and Charolais cows here. Here's a lovely one. She looks to be a bit more colour of Charolais, but I believe she's a quasi or a cross. Now, I didn't show the other shed earlier that I went in to feed. They don't get any nuts or anything because there's one cow that's calved over there. But Jessie's in here. Jessie, you never want to leave the Jeep. Okay, so just gotten back from the vets now, and it is starting to rain, and there's a lot of wind starting to rain. So I said I'll just give you a quick finish up on the tour because I didn't get it the other day. The cow was calving, so I'm going to do that now. I have to go see Dad first, and then I will finish showing you around if it doesn't start pouring down rain first. So there's the big garden off the main house, or what would be the main house. Plans for that again this year. Obviously that's where I had my vegetable garden last year, but it needs to be tipped up now. Starting sowing again this year soon. There's the big house, so that would be the main house. So this house is really in the centre of the whole farm. So you have half kind of down that way and half down that way, and just opposite here is where my garage is. And in here, wait until you see this. Lights on. So they've built a room inside the garage. So in here is their office. So a well insulated office. So like I said, it's a room inside the garage. They have the big desk here with the old time computer and chairs, and their office meeting room, and they even have a fridge and sink, the whole lot. They even had Irish caramels. So yeah, so they had everything fully equipped, and like I said, they just left everything as is. So that's the office. Now in here, this is my absolute favourite place in the whole farm. My workshop. So you have the dog's bed over here. Yeah. You can play with your little toy. Now, the light's actually gone in here. So up there, that's the loft that I mentioned earlier. The garage that I showed you, that's all full of stuff, that's in there. Here's my kind of big cutting wood bench. The saw I stole off Dad. And yeah, just fixing that. I have to bring that back to fix something. And here's where the magic happens. So then here, my fret saw bench. My fret saw bench with just a few bits there. This is my big drill. All the drill bits, engraver, all the, just anything there for kind of cutting in. So this is all cutting section. Then here is more design. So I've got my burner there. So that's why the light is here, because I need good light. So I've got burner there, and then just all paints, waxes, sandpaper. Sandpaper's down under. These are going to be magnets. So up here is the garage that they had, so their workshop garage, whatever you want to call it. So I've just found the key to open that now. I will show you inside, but this is some of the scrap that we've taken out of it, so we're cleaning it out. This is good scrap, I suppose you can call it. But in here, wait till you see this. This is their garage. And you might not believe me, but we have taken so much out of this already. The previous owners, Prune, get out before you hurt yourself. Playground for her. The previous owners, I'd say they did not throw anything away for years. I'd say their whole lives that they're here, they never threw anything away. There's absolutely everything in this workshop. Every bit of anything. We have already taken, I don't know, a few trailer loads of scrap metal, but of rubbish, just rubbish. So of course scrap metal you can sell it off, but of just rubbish we have taken buckets and buckets loads out of here. Look, there's two big so a compressor, and I don't know, is that even a compressor? What is that? It looks like a compressor. Yeah, it's just so much stuff in here, like absolutely everything. There's a load of tar there. I think it's tar. You kind of don't want to step in it or you'll stick to it. But I mean, it could have been a lovely workshop. It is a nice shed, and when it's emptied out. So then up here there's actually a stairways. I don't know if I'll go up it, but there's a stairs there that goes up, and that loft there is over my workshop, and up there there's just more stuff. They're nice, I like them. All the drawers and whatever writings they had on the side there. I don't even know what that means. Like a few big vices here, more big strong tables, but so the amount of work left to do in here. A lot of the sheds are just full of scrap metal. They were left, the farm was left in a bit of a state, just like because they just left everything in here. There's so much stuff that had to be cleared out, so we have already taken out a couple of trailer loads of scrap out of it. Of course you do get a bit of money for the scrap, but there's just so much work to do. Oh, I'm passing by the sheds. So then here off that second house is another shed here. So this is another nice concrete floor. So I was actually thinking of here first from my garage, but it's a bit too big and it's better for storing machinery. So he has his other baler over here on standby. A few bits of machinery there. We don't really use the wrapper much anymore, seeing as we have the wrapper on the back of the lelly. Okay, so back around. So there's another shed up there. That shed isn't really much good for anything. It's kind of, it could easily fall down, I'd say. It's full of old scrap wood, so I do get some wood up there from time to time, but a lot of it has woodworm, so I can't use that. Here, believe it or not, are actually houses. Can't remember if that's one or two houses. I've only ever been in one of them doors, and I can't remember which one it was. Someone actually lived in one of them in just a room. But yeah, so they used to be houses. Definitely won't be doing them up. And off up there, that's what we call northbound. So that whole laneway leads up to all the northbound fields, kind of. And then you have southbound, and then there are a few fields that are along the roadway in. But really, this whole farm is, I think it's 700 acres in one block. So then this big shed here, well, the loft up there, that's just full of wood again. That's all, and that bit down there, can't really see it. That's all full of hay. Hay and straw, I think. I don't know if there's straw in there. So that is the second farm. Just thought I'd show you around the farm yard. We never actually really showed this place too much. Might have seen it, but we've never done a tour. I did a video once trying to do a tour, and I ended up just showing the houses. So that was actually our 4th ever episode, if you want to go back and check that out. So that was obviously before we started doing the renovations. We actually have a guest in the house there now, so I can't go in and show it all done up, but I believe we've shown that before as well. So while there are actually good cattle sheds now. One has been equipped with locking barriers. This is a rented farm, so there's only so much we can do to it. Like obviously we're not going to go doing much to the sheds or anything like that, because so it's a 9-year lease. So in France all renting farms is about 9 years, 8 years, and I believe it's 25. So you know when you have a farm that you have it for a while, and so anything you do to the land to try and get the land good and up to scratch or however you want it, it's not going to be just taken away from you then the year after once you have it ready. Something like that anyways. So that is the end of the farm tour. I now have to go make clocks. Quick reminder, clocks are on the website, so are hats and hoodies. So you can go check that out. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. As always, if you did, please give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.